Hello, Tested viewers. Sean from Tested here with another fun movie prop. And I'm going to give you a hint and see if you can maybe guess what this might be. Come on. No, okay. All right, for those who don't know already, we have today Dr. Venkman's negative reinforcement device from Ghostbusters. The famous follow-up opening scene with Dr. Venkman in his office with the hapless college students and experimenting on ESP powers and the effects of negative reinforcement on that. So this is the unit. This is what they used in the film. I'm gonna take the lid off here. So this is a Beckman pH meter. And as many Ghostbusters props as I have, I was aware that there was a device, of course. There's lots of really cool stuff in that office. But I never knew what it was. It wasn't on my radar. My buddy Jordan just has this encyclopedia in his head of this kind of stuff. And he noticed this at a flea market and found it. And it was gifted to me. And it's one of the weirdest, cool Ghostbusters props that I now own. So Beckman pH meter. Around 1937, these were first produced, and they were produced, as far as I can tell, through at least the early 50s. My particular one is from 1946, which I was able to figure out from some of the markings inside. But overall, not bad shape. But when Jordan gave this to me, you pick it up, it weighs a ton. It feels like it's full of lead. And so one of the first things I did is opened it up, which was easy enough to do. There's just the 4 screws on top. And I discovered this treasure trove of vintage batteries. Just pack after pack after pack of, wait, there's more, of batteries. This thing was a portable unit that could generate up to, I think, 19 volts of power with all these lantern batteries and other battery packs. So like, this was just a fun find as far as the goodies that were inside. There's some really great large vacuum tubes and other gadgets, but these were like the keepers. And amazingly, these were not leaking at all after all these years, because the best I can tell, some of these are from the 60s. So that was a fun little treasure inside. And after doing a little more research and looking at screen grabs and stuff like that, I wanted to make this as accurate as possible. So in the film, the lid does remove. So when you're working in the field, you can get this out of the way. But if you look at it in the film, the broken back of this lid is still hanging from the back of the box, but the rest is completely snapped off and gone. And then, of course, there was the electrodes, the pads, which I tried to find what was in the original, but I couldn't locate the exact thing. But I found some good stand-ins and some pads to go with it on eBay. And what we have done then is just stowed them away in here where other pH stuff would have been. But the other thing I noticed is they were making these for so long, I believe that the unit that they have in the movie is an earlier version. And of course, during my whole adventure with the ESP machine, I stumbled across another one on eBay, and I couldn't help myself. This one's in a little nicer shape, but it demonstrates what this one originally looked like. So you'll notice we have a square meter on this one, a round meter on this one. The one in the film has the round meter, and when I originally got this one, it had the square one just like this, and I think these are later models. So I dug through my stash because I have a stash of meters and gauges, of course, and I found some appropriate round ones that were in the general neighborhood of the size of this. And I had to make a little, I made a little template out of on my vinyl cutter that I tested because there was a gap that I had to fill. This was a little too small for the opening that was on this. So I did a little test with just cardstock to make this, and then I vinyl cut a black circle out of really thin plastic for the final one when I replaced this. The window was also this kind of like acetate material that had been disintegrating and turning yellow and actually was like gooey. So I took the window out and I replaced it with a little piece of acrylic that I laser cut. And you know, that pretty much got the unit close to the movie version. And then I had to make these are Zener cards. So ESP cards are known as Zener cards. They have the familiar symbols, right? And I noticed that when Venkman is holding up, this is the bicycle logo, bicycle playing cards. And so I knew the brand to get. The thing is, I could not find Zener cards from Bicycle in the large format. I could only find small packs. And so what I did is I bought a standard pack of playing cards, just like, which they did have in the large size. So just, you know, regular stuff. And I then designed all the symbols in Illustrator and printed them out on a vinyl shipping label stock. There are vinyl weatherproof shipping labels that Avery puts out, and they make beautiful stickers. They're opaque. They wear really well because they're kind of plasticky, and they have a really good adhesive on them. So I've been using them for a lot of sticker sheets for other projects, and you can just cut them out by hand. So what I did is I just printed these out on a half sheet and stuck them to the front of the card, and then just flipped the card over and traced around it with an X-Acto to trim off the extra label. And they're pretty seamless because they are these opaque mailing labels. You're not seeing any bleed through from the original playing cards, but I think they look pretty convincing. So that was a quick little project as to you know, fulfill the equipment needs for the ESP machine. And then the final ridiculous thing I did is, for those that remember the scene, there's the ultimate shock for the poor kid where he spits his gum out. So I made a little piece of gum to put on the machine there. So this is Sculpey clay that I mushed up in a bag, like a plastic bag, and then I poured some clear resin on it. No, I need to redo this because the resin that I use has yellowed, and I didn't do it properly. I got a lot of bubbles in it, but I like the thought. I just thought it's a nice little touch to add to the final display piece along with the Zener cards. So that is just a fun little look at the a somewhat obscure Ghostbusters prop, the negative reinforcement machine to test the effects of negative reinforcement on ESP powers. The Beckman pH meter Model G. Like a couple of wavy lines. Wait.